This is an oral presentation over the interview of my father, Ronnie Watson, and the technology that influenced his life the most. Hi, I'm Donnie Watson, and I am going to be doing this oral presentation. My father was born on September 11th, 1946, to my papa, who was an automotive mechanic, and my nana, who was a homemaker at the time. My papa was born in 1910, and at the age of 15, he had started working on Model Ts in a blacksmith shop. This was in 1925. He went on to work on cars for most of his life, and this influenced my father greatly. Due to my grandfather's early start in automotive repair, automobiles became a family tradition. Because of this tradition, my uncles and my father all chose to become mechanics. So as you might have guessed, automobiles was the first technology or machine, whichever way you'd like to look at it, to influence my father's life. He's regaled me throughout my life with tales of his childhood working on cars with his brothers and his father at different points and learning all kinds of things. At one point, he even told me stories of getting to play with old car parts in his younger days. He and his younger brother had even disassembled and reassembled an old carburetor on multiple occasions that his father brought home. Much to his mother's chagrin, they had done that in the kitchen sink. Now, the first influence was the automobile, and it being part of his family history. The second influence of technology in his life actually had to do with the automobile, but a specific part of automobile. During the early part of his career in the late 1960s, Chrysler introduced the first electronic ignition system in an American vehicle. This eliminated the need for point contacts to discharge the coil for the spark ignition system. It changed the face of maintenance quite a bit, which made a big difference in his job and career. You no longer had to set the timing gap on the points and thus reset the ignition timing itself on a regular basis to keep the engine running smoothly. And he's told me on multiple occasions that was a very good advancement in the automotive field. The third technology that he spoke to me about was the OBD2 technology. Now, this, of course, is another technology that was an advancement for automotive repair and for automotive diagnostics. It was an electronics-based thing which allowed a computer interface between a computer tablet type diagnostic machine and the computer system on the vehicle. Now, computer systems in general were a great advancement, but the diagnostic system that was available in the early years was kind of hard to deal with, especially considering there was no standard across all vehicles. So you had all kinds of confusing information out there. The OBD2 system kind of put a fixed standard with very little deviation available, and that made it possible for a lot better communication of information. This had a large impact on the career field, in which that made it easier for him to do work. He told me that one of the big things that he liked about it was that there was pretty much going to be a standardized coding system. Now, the titles for each weren't going to be the same, but when you pulled up a code, you were going to have this structure for powertrain codes that started with a P, and body control module codes that started with a B or a C. But it was the same through all makes and models, and that was my experience as I also have worked on automobiles. Basically, it simplified the confusing mess that diagnosis of electronic systems had become. In conclusion, we can assume that automobiles and all their associated advantages have made a major impact on my father's life. In our interview, he focused upon the different parts of the automotive repair field that made up his career. And it also impacted my life because I ended up following in his footsteps and spent the better part of my life also working on automobiles. I'm only now changing careers. And I would like to thank you for listening to my oral presentation.